Do you like the movie Gladiator? Are you like Ralphie in The Sopranos?
In this world or the next, I shall have my revenge.
Here we go.
Well, you might like this movie. Last night I watched Demetrius and the Gladiators, a 1 hour, 41-minute movie from 1954 directed by Delmer Daves. And 3.5 stars, I think, which is my recommendation for if you're into this kind of thing. And for me, reason one is I love lavish productions from Hollywood from the 40s and 50s. The set design in this movie is just incredible, so cool to see, and it's filmed in widescreen, and they just kind of drink in all the great stuff. I mean, look at this throne room and marble floor. And the movie's just full of stuff like this. Reason two is Delmer Daves. I'm currently watching a movie of his every Monday until I complete his filmography. A complaint I have with modern movies and directors and culture is that we're not perverse enough with specifics. Like, I have a hard time telling a lot of modern movies and directors apart. One reason is I think we're all a bit too Empire 500 greatest movies of all time pilled and Sight and Sound top 250 movies of all time pilled and so on. I'm not knocking these lists or any movies on them. Far from it. They generally tend to have a lot of value. But one effect they have now that everyone has the internet is kind of teaching everyone from the same textbook. If you're a filmmaker who's trying to learn about great movies, there's only so much time in the day, right? So you go off and watch the best of the best list, which means you're getting some John Ford, some Kurosawa, some Fellini, some Godard, some Agnes Varda, and so on. And if you're a filmmaker in Connecticut, you read that list and watch those movies. And if you're a filmmaker in Japan, you read that list and watch those movies. Or in Malta, or Senegal, or wherever. We're all kind of reading from a lot of the same stuff. In the past, you might have had a local record store or movie store that stocked only certain things, or maybe you live near a weird theater with a weird person that only programmed in a strange way. And that affected what you saw and what you got into and what you got super into, and in a way perverted about. This happened to the Coen brothers, for example. I remember reading an interview with them about how they watched tons of movies on local television growing up, but the guy programming it was super weird. So the influences they grew up with and got into were kind of weird. And so I think access to these canonical lists have kind of standardized a lot of the inspiration people get. It's not the only thing causing a lot of modern movies to feel so similar. I think the fragile ecosystem of movies and the fragile social safety net in so much of the world are much bigger factors, actually. But I definitely think it is a factor. And so, as a filmmaker myself, I'm trying to, well, develop that perversion in a way by not sampling from the list, so to speak, and instead, I don't know, trying to go with themes and directors. In this case, I've been watching Delmer Daves on Mondays for like half a year. Now, he's not the greatest director ever, but it has been fascinating watching his movies compared with his reputation. He has a reputation of being this kind of positive, believer in the good of humanity director and loving crane shots. Now, he does love crane shots, but good lord, he's a little freak. Just about every movie I've seen of his has some type of extremely lurid and weird romantic content in it, from assaults to dissociation to violence to fear to the allure of the outlaw nature of being queer and so on. Now, I don't know if I'm ever going to explore any of that in any movie I make, but if you went by the list, you would probably only ever watch 3:10 to Yuma and maybe Dark Passage by him. But a movie like Susan Slade has stuff that I've never seen in any other movie before. And so even if I just learn how and why to do a really good crane shot from Delmer, well, maybe my stuff will look a bit different. And that's what I personally want as a viewer, so I'm hopeful that I can do that as a director. Thanks for watching. Please like and follow if you want more of this.